Well, it's been a very interesting past few days across the United States. Thanks for clicking on to the Wednesday edition of Hogan's US Outlook. Of course, we've been talking about the earliest 100-degree day in Minneapolis, just 43 days after we've seen the biggest April snowstorm on record. So what a turnaround there. And then, of course, we've seen subtropical storm Alberto. Didn't really do a huge amount in terms of strengthening, but it, of course, enhanced the rainfall that has already been a wet pattern across. Excuse me. So, of course, we've already seen a wet pattern across Florida, across the southeast. That system is now pushing into the Ohio Valley and will eventually lift into Canada, where it will fade. What is interesting is the GFS ensemble is indicating that the ridge starts to pull back towards the west, allows a trough to develop over the northeastern half of the country, and therefore cooler conditions will hold in. Drying out, continuing to dry out across Texas, Oklahoma, and over the next 10 days we don't have an awful lot of rain, so therefore it would not surprise me if we're talking about some very significant heat further down the road here. So GFS ensemble, skipping through the sequence here, you notice here we start to cool things down over the northeastern half of the country. As the ridge pulls west, trough starts to form and deepen over the northeast. You can see the response to that quite easily, and of course the heat central and western portion of the country. As we continue to skip through, you notice here it stays cool in the east. Notice how the core of the heat starts to build right over the southern plain states, and this is what I'm talking about. We could be talking about a heat wave. I could be talking about record-breaking heat. Texas, North Texas, Oklahoma, maybe even the Kansas, as we go through towards the middle portion of June. Cool-ish looking in the east during the month of June. The heat will be focused between the central plains and the western half of the country, as you can see here. And really, that stays the case overall. Precipitation-wise, real quick, you can see here that we are going to maintain a fairly dry pattern across a good chunk of the United States. There's nowhere really standing out in terms of very heavy rainfall over the next 10 to 15 days or so. But you notice here, wet across the mid-Atlantic region, up into southern Canada here overall, and then as we skip through the sequence, you see things drying out quite significantly, right up really from the Gulf Coast up towards Canada. There is very little in the way of above normal precipitation, but it's quite interesting to see. And of course, with very little rainfall in Texas at this time of the year, you continue to dry out the ground. The moisture within the atmosphere therefore is less, and of course it doesn't take an awful lot to get very hot conditions at this time of the year overall. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good one, and I'll be back in the next few days with more. Bye for now.